Let's talk about standard deviation for a minute. I just made an additional video for my Udemy course on beginner statistics, which, by the way, Udemy at this point is probably beginning their Black Friday sale, so you can pick up that beginner statistics course for $9.99. But if you are vaguely familiar with standard deviation, it tells us how the data relates to each other. More to the point, especially for you AP Psych students, the standard deviation is how spread out the data is, how spread out the scores are, especially away from the mean, where the mean can tell you the central point around, on average, where all of the data kind of balances around. The standard deviation is going to give you more of an idea of how the individual data relates to each other. So if you have a very large standard deviation, then all the data that you have are very spread out. If you're looking at this on the normal curve, it's going to look something like this. But if you have a very small standard deviation, all of the data is going to be really tight around the mean. There's not a lot of variation between all of the data points that's there. So large standard deviation, data is very spread out. Small standard deviation, the data is very close together. So if you're looking at something like age and it's a very small standard deviation, everyone's age is about the same. You know, they don't vary a lot, but if the standard deviation is quite large, like, 10, 11, 12, then everyone's age is all over the place. It's all spread out all over the place. Anyway, I want to just quickly say that and introduce this additional video that I just added for my Udemy course. Again, Black Friday sale, $9.99. In this video, I describe standard deviation with a visualization, because every time that I think about standard deviation, most of statistics I have a visualization for, which is what makes me good at statistics at this point, because I don't ever really see numbers. I see people. In this video, I describe how I visualize standard deviation, and I hope that it's something that helps you. Enjoy. I just want to add something really quickly about standard deviation, especially for you very visual learners like me. And this is how I describe it to students, and it seems to really help them get it. So I want you to imagine the average, the mean, as like a pole standing in a big empty room. I want you to imagine all of the different scores, all of the different data points are actual humans. So there's a bunch of humans now and a pole in the middle of the room. And depending on the size of the standard deviation, it's going to tell you how close or how far those people are away from that pole. When you think of like let's say that your test score in class was an 86, and I say that the standard deviation was a 0.5. So that means on average, everyone varied about a half a point away from an 86. Do you see how like all of everyone's score is like hugging like right around the mean? And then I have this visual in my mind of all of these people gathered real close, like shoulder to shoulder, like really cramped in right next to this pole, which represents the mean. And if the standard deviation was something, for the same example, like 15, on average, everyone's about 15 points away from 86, which is terrible news, right? Because now in my mind, I'm picturing people very far away from that pole, and that pole sitting there and it's lonely. And I got people way off to the positive side, to the right of it, and people way off to the left side of that pole, right? But if I made the standard deviation 0.5 again, now everyone's back around that pole. Everyone's hugging around that pole. Everyone's hugging around that mean. So if you're a visual learner like I am, that may help you better understand like what a standard deviation actually represents. And that may help you for the next video. So I'll see you there.